Chapter 1. Gunfire and shouts filled the air. Catnap and his younger brother Dogday ran through the trashed streets of the savage sector. Catnap pulled Dogday along as Dogday held tightly to their backpack of valuable scrap they had collected to trade. Bullets whizzed past them as they ran. Dogday felt uneased. He didn't like violence. He never had. Hearing the other savages gaining on them, Catnap pulled his brother ahead. Run! They ran before he pulled Dogday behind an old car for cover. Catnap unsheathed his gun and blade. Dogday knew what this meant. Catnap, we don't have to fight. We can just keep running too. Stay ducked down. Catnap told him as he ran out from the hiding spot. All Dogday could hear were shouts, gunfire, and blood splatter followed by the eventual sound of bodies hitting the pavement. Every spray of blood that caught his eye made his stomach churn. He forced himself to look away. He clung to the backpack, gently rocking himself, praying the sounds of violence would soon be over. Eventually, it stopped. Catnap walked back to his brother, his clothes blood-soaked. All right, it's clear, Day. But Dogday didn't face his brother. He got up and started walking. He knew his brother was soaked in the blood of other savages, but it was easier for his mind to avoid his brother for now simply. Catnap sighed and sheathed his weapons. Right. Let's just head to Bobby's. Dogday nodded, already heading in that direction. After a while, the brothers arrived at an old store-like building, the windows boarded or covered. Dogday pushed open the door, and Catnap followed behind. Nice to see you again, boys, Bobby said when she saw Didi enter the main part of the supply center. She immediately noticed his discomfort. Didi, what's wrong? You look like you done seen something violent. She caught a glimpse of Catnap and sighed, crossing her arms. Crafty, dear. She hollered towards the back. Yes, Bobby. Crafty replied as she walked in from the back, before also noticing Catnap's blooded appearance. Could you please find a change of clothes for trouble here? Bobby asked Crafty while glaring at Catnap. Crafty disappeared into the back storage room with an annoyed sigh. This was clearly not a first. Bobby shifted her gaze towards Dogday, her tone being soft and gentle. Hey Didi. I made some fresh gummy treats this morning. Go help yourself, kid. I need to have a talk with your brother. Dogday's face lit up a little bit and he went to find the gummy treats. Bobby then shifted her gaze to Catnap, her face turned stern. Hello, Catnap. Catnap knew why Bobby was ticked off a little. Hi, Bobby. Now before you get mad, I can explain. Explain how you are soaked in blood, especially in front of Didi who you know is squeamish. Well, we were being chased. You know the sector, Bobby. It's kill or be killed. Catnap explained. What else could I have done to make sure he's safe? Kid, I know you love your little brother and want to keep him safe. But running is always an option. Bobby told him. You can always run here. I can keep you and Didi safe if needed. Catnap was going to say something but didn't. He knew Bobby was right. After all, she was the one who had taught him everything he knew when it came to fighting. I know, Bobby. I just want to keep him safe. She sighed. I know you do, kid. But doing that, fighting when running is an option. That worries me because it puts both of you in trouble and at great risk. She looked at him. And you know I'm not just talking about the other savages. The government scouts have been more active in the sector. Any of you getting captured is my worst fear. I know. Do you know what could happen when you're caught? Any savages that get caught are either imprisoned or executed. Catnap finished the phrase that all savages know. Crafty walked over, which prompted Bobby to calm down and go find Didi. Here you go, again. You should know where the water bucket is in the back by now. Crafty said, handing Catnap some cleaner clothes. Thanks. Catnap headed to the back. Bobby found the 14-year-old sitting on the floor behind the counter, the jar of the gummy treats sitting nearly empty in his lap. Didi liked all the flavors, except for the black licorice which were made specifically for Catnap since only he liked them. Bobby only giggled at the sight. Wow, Didi. That jar was full when you got here. Hasn't Catnap been feeding you one package of food like I told him to? She said as she sat on the floor next to him. No, he does. But we only eat a night meal. Didi explained. Why? I give you boys twice of the supplies for your scrap than what I do for other savages. Catnap says it's hard to run on a full stomach. Causes muscle cramps, I think. Well, it can, but you are a growing kid, she told him. I will never fully understand your brother. She looked over the counter and then back at the kid. Quickly, put a few more in your pockets before your brother sees. Didi smiled and took a few reds and a few orange ones, putting them in his pockets before handing Bobby the jar. She just smiled. How did Catnap manage to find such an innocent kid in a place like this? She ruffled his already messy hair. Didi got up and put the backpack full of scrap on the counter, then went over to talk to Crafty. Bobby smiled at the innocent kid and then collected the scrap from the bag. She grabbed some supplies that she had saved for the brothers and packed them in the backpack. Catnap finally returned from the back, in the clean clothes he was given. So, Did we bring in a decent enough haul, Bobby? He asked as he walked over to the counter. You guys do well if you are alive. You guys don't even have to trade scrap for supplies from me. I'd give them to you boys regardless, she told him. The savaging just gives you two something to do, and the scrap helps me get more supplies from the city government. Catnap just nods at her words. Bobby had always helped him, especially when he found and took in Dog Day 10 years ago. Bobby was the closest thing to a mother that the brothers had since the collapse of Seonx's government and the creation of the savage sector. Thanks, Bobby. He looked behind himself. Hey Day, we need to get going before it gets dark out. Dog Day nodded, running over and putting on the backpack, then popping another gummy treat in his mouth. The brothers almost left before Bobby heard something and pulled them from the door. It was the sound that put fear in all savages. The sound of the government scouts' hoverbikes. Crafty, hide them. Now! Bobby commanded as Crafty led the boys to the hidden compartment in the back room. Catnap helped Dee into the compartment before getting in as well, and Crafty closed and covered it, ensuring that the boys were hidden. When Crafty went back to the main part of the center, two scouts were walking in. Bobby mainly recognized them. Hoppy, kick in. What brings you to my neck of the woods? Bobby faked a smile. You know why we're here, Bobby. Routine check. Hoppy explained. Kickin was looking around. He was trying to act stern like Hoppy, though his body language said otherwise. Kickin, take a look around the back. I'll stay up here. Hoppy told Kickin. Bobby got a little nervous as Kickin walked to the back, but she hid it with a small feigned smile. So, Bobby began. How's working as a scout been treating you? Hoppy was silent before responding. It's different. Well, you and Kickin are still feared. Feared as savages, now feared as scouts. Yeah. Bobby sighed. I guess some things don't change. She mumbled. Meanwhile, in the back of the supply center, Kickin walked around doing his routine checks. He checked the nooks and crannies. He looked in the storage rooms and boxes. It wasn't clear what he was looking for to anyone, except to him. In the hidden compartment, Catnap kept an arm wrapped around Dog Day, trying to keep his younger brother calm and quiet so they don't get found. Both of their hearts raced as they heard Kickin walk around. Catnap rested his other hand on his gun, ready to fight if it came to it. Soon, the footsteps left. Kickin went back to Hoppy. All clear. Hoppy nodded. Let's go, Hoppy said as Kickin walked to the door. It was nice to see you two around again. Bye. Bobby kept up her act. The sound of the hoverbikes could be heard and gradually faded away. After a few minutes of silence, Bobby and Crafty let out a sigh of relief. Go get the boys, Crafty. It's about time they head home. Crafty nodded and disappeared into the back room. She uncovered the hidden compartment and let the boys out. You can get out now, she said gently. Dog Day was still a bit frightened. Is it safe now? He asked as his brother helped him out, before hugging him. We're safe for now, Dee. Catnap reassured the kid, gently placing a hand on his brother's head as the kid clung to him. Crafty and the brothers walked to the front of the center. Bobby walked over to the brothers, making sure they were all right. Are you boys all right? We're fine, Bobby. Dee's just a bit shaken. Catnap reassured her. Bobby looked at the kid and held an arm out. He ran over and hugged her. Thank you for hiding us, Miss Bobby. Anytime, kid. Bobby looked at Catnap. I think it's time you two headed to your base for the night. You two still need to eat. Catnap nodded and led his brother to the door. Night, Bobby. Crafty. Night. See you tomorrow, boys. Bobby watched as the two left. The boys walked in the shadows of the night to their base, which they called home. Dog Day held tight to the backpack while Catnap led him through the dim, empty streets. The faint sounds of shouts and a few gunfire filled the night air. The boys walked to an old apartment building, to an old, tall, scrap pile. They carefully climbed up the old rickety pile to the top of the 7-story tall building. Dog Day held tight and climbed more carefully than his older brother, the higher they went. At the top, they carefully crossed a long, wooden plank over the hole in the roof. Just look ahead, Day. Look ahead and you'll be across quickly. Catnap reminded Dog Day as he crossed. Once across, Catnap opened up the doorway which led into their base. Dog Day set the backpack on the counter and went to wake up the robotic kitten he made. Catnap just smiled at his brother's innocence and put up the supplies before making a night meal for the both of them. Hey there, Kit. Did you miss us? Dog Day asked the robotic kitten. Kit just made a mechanical whir in response. Dog Day just smiled and then checked it for any loose screws or bolts, fixing them if needed. Dee, come eat. Catnap told his brother as he put out the night meal. After they ate, Dog Day helped his brother clean up before they went to bed. Dog Day picked up Kit and placed it on his bed, before climbing in it himself. Catnap climbed into his own bed on the other side of the room. "Good night, Dida." "Night," he sleepily replied. Kit was curled up next to the kid, the robotic purring filling the room with a calming feeling. Soon both of the brothers were asleep, happy that they survived the day, and they still had each other.